Lesson 9.3, Adding and Subtracting Radicals. When we add or subtract radicals, we treat the radical the same as we would a variable. Which means we can only add like terms. And we only add or subtract the coefficient portion. Now, like terms in a radical means that the radicals have to match. So, for example, if I have the square root of 5 plus 2 times the square root of 5. The square root of 5 by itself has an invisible 1. And so I add the 1 plus 2. And I keep the radical the same. So I get 3 times the square root of 5. If I'm subtracting, I subtract the coefficients, and so 7 minus 2 is 5 times the square root of 6. So our radicals have to match. If I have some radicals that match and some that don't, I can only combine the radicals that match the like terms. So those are the square roots of 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, and then I keep the minus square root of 2 the same because it didn't have a like term. If I have two terms that are not at all alike, this is already simplified. You cannot add them. Sometimes we'll have some addition and subtraction in the same problem. So, for example, if I have the square root of 5 plus 3 times the square root of 7 minus 4 times the square root of 5 minus 5 times the square root of 7 plus 3 times the square root of 6. First, I want to rearrange these so my like terms are together. So here I have a square root of 5 and then minus 4 times the square root of 5. And then I have 3 times the square root of 7 minus 5 times the square root of 7. And then finally I have a 3 times the square root of 6. Now I combine my like terms, remembering if there's no coefficient, it's an invisible 1. So I have 1 minus 4, that's negative 3. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And then the 3 times the square root of 6 remains behind because it had no like terms. If my radicals don't match, before I can add or subtract them, I need to see if I can make them match. So for example, if I have the square root of 8 plus the square root of 18. Now 8 and 18 don't match, but they can both be simplified. So what we do is we factor them first. So the square root of 8 becomes 2 times the square root of 2. And then I factor the 18. And the square root of 18 becomes 3 times the square root of 2. Now they match, and I can add them. Let's try another one. 4 times the square root of 12 minus the square root of 75. 12 and 75 don't match, but 12 is 3 times 4, and 4 is a perfect square, and 75 is 3 times 25, and 25 is a perfect square. So I bring out the 2, which gets multiplied times the 4 that was already there, and I bring out the 5. So I have 8 times the square root of 3 minus 5 times the square root of 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. So what we need to keep in mind is we can only add like terms. The radicals don't change. We only add or subtract the coefficient. And if the radicals don't match, we try simplifying them in order to try to make them match.